Michael writes in to the Equitable Bank inbox about the Penn State coach. I think Brian Kelly. People in the South can't stand him. He just doesn't fit there.
I mean, he's not wrong.
It's a huge game, LSU Vanderbilt this weekend. It's another really good slate of big games. The Big Ten, as you were alluding to earlier.
Yeah, not good.
Third Saturday in October
But
this weekend.
the SEC slate's pretty good. Vandy's a favorite in that game.
Ole Miss at Georgia is the primetime game on ABC. Tennessee at Alabama, because it's the third Saturday in October. UNLV is at Boise State.
Oh,
Dan Mullen wins. Is he the Penn State head coach? Talk amongst yourselves, 402-951-1620.
Is that your name?
But then you have USC and Notre Dame. Remember, USC has a bye week. Then they come to Lincoln.
20-year anniversary of the Bush push.
But Michael's suggestion, can you imagine Brian Kelly at Penn State with that personality?
No, I couldn't.
So let's just look at the current.
Is Brian Kelly your name?
No.
Okay. I was going to
My name is not on this list, but to be fair, I want to give you the list from Bet Online.
Okay.
Next, the odds to be the next Penn State full-time head coach. Matt Rhule, 3-1.
Wow. Okay.
Bill O'Brien, 4-1. Have you seen what Boston College is doing this year?
Yeah, no.
But they already screwed him.
Yeah.
B.O.B., things were going well. They just did not support him.
Yeah. No.
But he was starting to turn things, and then he went to the NFL.
I totally forgot. You forget that Bill O'Brien was the head coach there.
He had to come in and clean up the mess.
Did a great job.
Kurt Cignetti, 6-1. Remember, Kurt Cignetti makes $9 million at Indiana, and they could win a national championship in Bloomington. Okay?
But certainly he's going to leave.
He bet on himself. I think he bet on himself at the right place. Lane Kiffin, 8-1.
No.
Manny Diaz, 10-1. Former defensive coordinator now at Duke.
Yeah.
Urban Meyer, 12-1.
That's wild.
Herb.
A name that is starting to pick up a lot of traction. Joe Brady at 14-1.
Yeah.
Will Stein, OC at Oregon, 16-1.
Jerry Neuheisel?
Not on this list. Another solid name to put on any list, but remember, he's at his alma mater.
Yeah.
Brent Key, Georgia Tech, 18-1. John Gruden, 18-1. Matt Campbell, 18-1, but Iowa State has lost 2 in a row, and that's a bad loss in Boulder. Bad loss for the Clones.
My dad coached running backs at Penn State, man.
G.J. Kinney, 20-1.
Good coach, but he won't go there.
No, not there.
These are the last 3 are group of 5s. John Summerall, Tulane, 20-1. Dan Mullen, 22-1. Kenny Dillingham is not on this list, which is kind of surprising because Kenny Dillingham and Eli Drinkwitz are on a lot of hot boards. But y'all, you're missing the most obvious candidate.
Is this it?
Yes. Okay. Who isn't on these lists, but I think would be great for Penn State.
It's going to be Herbie Husker.
Are you ready?
Yes.
You ready?
Yeah.
Dion.
Mike Elko.
Hey.
So Mike Elko has right now the best team in the SEC at Texas A&M.
Not bad.
Mike Elko.
We like him on this show.
Where is Mike Elko from?
Pennsylvania.
He is from New Jersey.
Okay.
You know what Mike Elko's buyout is?
Oh, God.
Not like Jimbo's.
Yeah, I was going to say, because they probably they had PTSD from Jimbo's. It's probably what, like 20 million, 10 million?
$6.5 million buyout for Mike Elko.
What'd you say?
Remember,
the couch?
He has good things there. You know, I mean, they spend a lot of money, but he's not a Texas guy. He's not a guy from the South. Remember, he worked at Duke.
He did. And
then he went to Texas A&M, and they're the only team in the SEC without a loss. Now, Penn State opens up. People might say, it's the SEC. The SEC, the Big Ten is a little bit ahead of the SEC. New Jersey guy.
Yeah.
He's not on this list. If I was running the show and I wanted a football coach, because I remember when you hire a football coach at Penn State, you want the other 17 teams in the league to go, oh, crap.
Sure.
I think if you hired Mike Elko at Penn State, there would be 17 other teams, including your major rival in Columbus, that would go, okay, I see what you're doing there. Instead of going,
Do you think they'd be doing that if they hired Rhule? The maniacal laugh?
I don't think Rhule at Penn State would scare Ohio State.
No, it wouldn't.
There's very few things that scare Ohio State. But you need to, that's when you hire a coach.
Sure.
When you, for example, I'll give you a little brief one.
Okay.
When Nebraska actually hired Scott Frost, for a moment, the guys in Iowa City paused. They were like, okay. And then Frost had a Sunday press conference and they went, But when Rhule was hired, So this is from Iowa media
Sure.
that they were like, okay, that seems like a solid rebound hire.
Yeah.
Not that we're like, oh no.
Sure.
But like, okay, they didn't shoot themselves in the foot 2 straight times. I think if you're at Penn State, your hire has to make the other teams in the league go,
Yeah.
okay.
See,
Damn.
my question would be, and this would be a good discussion of like, how many hires could Penn State actually make that would scare people? That would actually scare people. I don't know if there are too many that, because, and also too, like, we talk about parity within the sport amongst rosters. There's also parity in the sport amongst like the quality of jobs, right? Like, can you imagine telling somebody 5 years ago, hey, the head coach for Indiana is going to have an opportunity to be the head coach of Penn State, and he's going to say, no, I'd rather be at Indiana? Like, that's crazy. Like, that's...
Yeah, Cignetti, though, was a unicorn. He bet on himself.
Yeah, but he
bet on himself.
Sure.
He's different. And remember, Kurt Cignetti is 64 years old.
Good point.
And I think he's somebody that's got a chip on his shoulder. Is like, you're trying to pry me away from Indiana. You not see what we're doing here? We made a commitment to football. I'm getting $9 million. And oh, by the way, I'm the number 3 team in the country at Indiana, and I've done it in 2 years. What are you saying? That job is better. This is a perfect fit for me.
Oh, no, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's...
I mean, we just won a game.
Sure.
We won a game against a team ranked in the top 5, and it hasn't happened since here in Bloomington 2 years before a man landed on the moon. We got things rolling here.
I think the same thing can be said about like Kenny Dillingham. Like, Kenny Dillingham is a guy who definitely presents himself as wanting to be the head coach of Arizona State for a long period of time, which is why he is very low. Like, there's some coaches and some jobs that it's just, you kind of rather be there more so than usual. I can't really think of that many hires that would legitimately scare, the top teams in the Big Ten that Penn State can make. And what I like about your Elko suggestion is this. Here's why I like your Elko suggestion, because Elko came into Texas A&M and he's made that his program, right? Like, it's not like he came in and he like picked up the scraps and he was just trying to save it from what Jimbo left behind. Like, no, he came in and he goes, this is how we're going to build it. This is how we're going to do it. And now they're flourishing. I think that Penn State and the fans, they have this idea that they want to make a hire, and they want that hire to come in and take the team and immediately go to the national championship and immediately win, beat Ohio State, immediately be back in that picture. I think what Penn State should be thinking of is like, we need to get a guy that's going to come in here, and we're not going to be talking about James Franklin. We're not going to be talking about the past. We're going to be talking about their program. They made it their program.
But their program is every year you should be in the playoff.
But I do.
It's not like, that's why whenever Pat Kraft has a press conference,
sure,
I don't think they're looking for a proven builder. They're looking for a proven closer.
Yeah.
Now, Mike Elko last year at Texas A&M got him on the cusp of being in the playoff. They were in contention till late in the year, and look what they're doing right now. That's why again, he's not on any of these lists, and he may be like, nah, I don't want to mess with that. I like it here at Texas A&M. I like my AD. I like that guy named Trev.
Sure.
But that'd be tough. Somebody that doesn't need to. When the first time I ever saw James Franklin, Big Ten Media Days, he had about 24 people following him with cameras, and they were doing documentaries on him, and it was like a show.
Yeah.
Mike Elko came to the College World Series 2 years ago with his gigantic head. He was wearing a size 8 ball cap.
It is a big head.
With his wife, and he just, like, Texas A&M fans recognized him, but he just walked in. He came up to the suite, and when I had that little bit of interaction with him, he was just sitting there. He was just like normal. Nobody was like, like the boosters, the Texas A&M boosters that were in Trev's suite. They weren't like, hey, Mike, they were like, they just left him alone. Yeah. He just, you know what? Penn State would be smart to hire a football guy.
Sure.
A guy that knows ball, knows how to put a staff together, lets other people take advantage of the resources in the NIL. He wants to coach ball because that's what he's good at. And I think at Texas A&M, they've left him alone.
Yeah. No, they have.
If Penn State is smart, they will leave him alone.
It'd be a really good hire.
Yeah.
Now, your sentence, right? Penn State wants to hire not a builder, but a closer.
Yeah.
Okay. I think everybody shares that
Trevor
sentiment.
Hoffman.
I think that's obvious, right? But out of that list of people, right? How many of them are really like legitimate closers?
Well, these are all lists the day right immediately when you fire a coach that you're like, okay, who are going to be the hot names? I'm just giving you a name that would make sense.
Oh,
to me.
I know. I think that name. I'm saying that name would make more sense to me than some of these other names, just because. I mean, I just look at the list of people that potentially could leave and like could end up being the head coach of Penn State. There's not the the pool of coaches that you can hire that have won conference championships and national championships and playoff games and so on and so forth. Like, there's not a ton of those guys that you could just go and pluck and take. Like, there's not a plethora of coaches out there who have won national championships.
But you got to understand, you are one coach away. Every job is one coach away from
one way
that's
or the other.
The guy that turns things around. That's Indiana. You're one coach away. But nowadays, you can't afford to wait, okay? You can't afford, if it's going south, depending on how you look at your program, to say, we're going to miss the playoff. We can't miss the playoff.
Yeah.
We need to be in the playoff every year because our rival over in the next state, they're going to the playoff every single year, and we can't fall behind because we're competing with them on Friday nights at a high school field and in rooms for money.